Hi guys, let's talk about getting your club set up for the first time in Snowline. This is kind of the entry point for a new club. You may want to stop here once you get this set up and not use Snowline for registration and that sort of thing. But regardless, this is kind of where you start. So once you've done this, then your club's up in Snowline and members from anywhere will be able to register. Going through the registration process, they will do the waivers, they'll do the crim checks, they'll do all the things that you may not have required that they do because you didn't set that up, but it will be all the things that your division and that national has requested of them. So it'll all be there, it'll all be electronic, it's all visible and online. And even if you don't use it, you would be able to do mass emailing because you got their email addresses, you'll be able to pull membership reports. You've got all the contact information, that kind of thing. So at the end of this video, that's what you'll have set up with your club. So how do you start? First thing, you need to talk to Amy in the national office, and she's going to want to know what's your club name and what do you call yourself. For example, Silver Star, where I am, is SAS, SSASS, and Visas is Vancouver Island Adaptive Snow Sports, VISAS. So she's going to want to know that from you. What's your full name and what's your short name? So give Amy a call or shoot her an email and then she'll get you set up. And then she's going to give you an ID and a password, and then you're going to be able to log on. There's different ways you can do it. One way is to go through the national website and just log on. You will also be able to go directly to your club. So for example, if your club happened to be called New Name or New Club, then you could go to newclub.skiportal.org, or you could just go to straightoldskiportal.org and then you get a list of clubs, or you log in and then you get a list of clubs and you pick your club. All right, let's take a look at what that looks like. Got a web browser open and I'm going to go to the national site, and that is www.cads.ski. Pretty simple, www.cads.ski, and it brings up the really nice CADS national website. And so to go to my own club site, first I log in. So I go to membership and then member login. And you get here. So your club will be listed at the top, and mine is called New Club, so I'm going to go ahead and go in there. And where I want to go from here is to club administration. And so one thing to note, if you don't have all these menu options, then you need to talk to Amy and get your security set up properly. So tools, club admin, right? Tools, club admin, club setup, club configuration. That's where we're going to be spending our time. So here it is, tools, club admin, club setup, club configuration. Most likely there isn't anything you're going to want to change here. I don't know, maybe you need to change your club name, but definitely do not change your short name. So there we are. Now you want to go ahead and fill in all of this, your phone number, address, your province, the email of your club. Just go ahead and fill that in. Your time zone, so wherever you are, and what the default language of most of the people for your club will be. If you have a static website, go ahead and put in your website address just the way you would read it off of the address bar in your browser. If you've got a Twitter account, Facebook, etc., you can go ahead and put that in. And this is what CAD's site looks like, for example. You can see they've got their static website and they've got their Twitter address and what all that stuff sort of put in there. And then the last thing you want to make sure on here is that you are most likely a nonprofit, and so you're going to be issuing tax receipts for any donations, or you will get tax receipts for your members for any donations they put in. And so you want to make sure you get your charitable number in there correctly. Once you get your links put in properly, then you can proceed. So place of activity, ignore that, we don't use it. The next thing you're looking at is your instructors and volunteers section. It's a big area. Most of the stuff will be defaulted and you can just ignore it. Lesson frequency for instructors, you can turn that one off. If you want your instructors to give 2 references, then leave that. Otherwise, you can uncheck it. Self-assigning, you're not going to need that. Restricted duty, you're not going to need that. And your instructors will be able to log in. If you don't want them to see your student profiles, if you want to keep that private, then check that. Otherwise, leave it blank. If you are doing criminal record checks and you have a validity period that's not 5 years, like 3 years, then go ahead and change that. If you want your students and your instructors to be prompted to ask the question, if they want to be members of your society, then you can go ahead and turn this on for students and this on for instructors, or off, whatever you want. And what do you want the default to be? So if they ignore it and do nothing, do you want them automatically to be members? Then you turn that on. And if you don't want them automatically to be members, like they have to specifically go in and say, yes, I want to be a member, then turn that off. All right, moving on. Scroll down to automatically accept members. Here, you want these on. So when people complete registration, they automatically get an email that says, welcome to the club. And that's it for this section. So go ahead and scroll down and open your mail settings and contacts. That's the next area for you. And you need to fill this stuff in. So even if you don't have a president, if you have maybe an operations manager or something like that, whoever is kind of in that role, then put in their title and their name and their email address, and fill all these 3 out, please, because they are the bottom of emails. So emails will go out when somebody registers, or if it's a donation, for example, it'll have the finance person's contact information on there. So this is the bottom part of email, so please fill those out. And then you put whatever you want in here for your contacts page, and the contacts page is off of the home page. It's the first stop once somebody's logged in, and there's this little contact area here. So you can, anything you put on that page we just looked at, it's gonna end up here. So whatever you want to put in there, just go ahead and do that. All right, back to Club Config. If you are going to use the email tool, because it will be available to you, then you have the option to add some addresses outside of Snowline that you may want to use as reply tos when you send an email. So it looks like this. The email tool is under Tools, Email Tool. And here's our reply to. So it automatically picks up the contacts that we put in. We had the contacts. And then anything else we want to have in here, where once our members read the email and they hit reply, then it goes to that address, then you go ahead and put that in your club setup. All right, running right along, back to config. That's it for your mail settings and contacts. Let's scroll down and go to online payments and donations. And unless you have your own merchant account, which you probably don't, then you need to pick who's going to be taking the credit card payments on your behalf. And depending on your division, you're going to have some choices here. If you're in British Columbia, for example, you would pick BCAS. And if you're not sure, talk to Amy. Otherwise, go ahead and fill that in. Any payments taken on your behalf will automatically be sent via electronic funds transfer to your bank. So you need to give that information to Amy. She'll give you forms that you have to sign, put your bank account number in there, and that needs to be on. And these guys are on. Accept online donations, you want that on. You're not going to have events, but it doesn't matter. And if you want to have the donate button at the top of your screen, then this doesn't have it, so it's not turned on, as we saw. then you get a donate button up here. So if you want that turned on, then you go ahead and turn that on. Before somebody's completed the logon process, if you want them to have the donate button, then you turn him on, and once they're logged in, if you want them to see the donate button, you can control it by member type. Some clubs, for example, feel they ask a lot of their instructors and they don't want them to be presented with the donate button, then don't turn it on. Otherwise, go ahead and click all those. All right, that's it for that. On to portal settings, and you want all of these off, all of these off, all of these off, and then you go to your your logo file and your home page background. So those are here. So here's your logo, it's going to go here, and your home page is going to go here. So this is a good, it should be like a 6:9 ratio, sort of, you know, a wider than high picture goes here, and then this guy automatically gets resized to a little 1 inch by 1 inch, or 1 inch high by whatever the width is picture. All right, so you can just go ahead and drag those in, and you can, you know, if you don't like them, just replace them. You can do that as often as you want. And that's it for here. So here's where you're going to start your season. So we start accepting registration September 1st. Make sure you get that in there. And the rest doesn't matter because you're not going to be accepting lesson requests online. So you can move on. So waivers and policy. These are your checkboxes. Maybe you want to put something here. It's up to you. It can be required or not required, but it might be something as simple as I agree to my local club policy. And then they will have to accept this in order to move on during registration or not. It's up to you. Put it in or don't put it in. And the last section is your welcome letters. If you want to include an attachment when somebody signs up, or if you want to include something more friendly than thank you for volunteering in the email that they get, then you can go ahead and do that. So this would be a PDF. You write your letter, you put it on your letterhead, and you can drag it and drop it in here, and then that's what they get when they register. And you can do it for, you know, new instructors, returning instructors, all of the categories you see here, or leave it blank and then they get a generic thank you for registering email. And that's it for club config. One more time, how did we get here? We went to tools, club admin, club setup, club config. That's how we got into where we were. So if you want to configure some more of this stuff, there's some videos on that, and you can. So for example, if you want to ask specific questions of your members when they register, you can do that. If you want them to get a news pop-up or any kind of news, then you can go ahead and do that. But you do have to do your bank details in order for the electronic funds transfer to work. And this is what you basically get off your check. So you put, this would be me and my bank account number, or my bank number, like 010 or whatever, it's a 3-digit number, and then your branch number and your account number. Make sure you get this right. Nobody can see this. Once you record it, you can't go back and look at it. All you can do is change it. It's not stored in Snowline. It's sent off to our credit card partner, and they actually save it for us. Before we can accept donations, we have to set up a general donation account. So let's go ahead and do that. It's under Tools, Fundraiser. So it's Tools, Fundraiser. First one, Fundraiser Financial Management, and then Campaigns. List add change. We just need to add one called General Donations, that all of the donations that we may take from the header bar, menu bar, or from the payment screen will end up there. We're going to call it General Donations. Call it whatever you want, but General Donations is pretty standard. Date's not important, sometime in the past. All right, so you got it set up. Now you can put in your treasurer or whoever you want, whoever would be the correct person to contact there. The important thing is that you check this checkbox. Make this your General Donations campaign. If you want to have a link on your static page that opens up to accept donations, then you can just go ahead and take this text here and you just paste that into wherever you want your link to open, however you do that. If you want text to appear in that window, then you can go ahead and say something in here. If you want to put a thank you in your tax receipt, like thank you for supporting our athletes, etc., then you can go ahead and put that there. If you want to attach something, attach a thank you card or something, then you can just drag it into this area and upload it. And that's all there is to it. So we've set up our general donations, and we've now got our general donations account. Okay, let's go in and turn off the default programs that your club came pre-configured with. We go to Tools, Club Admin, Club Setup, Programs. Okay, so that was Tools, Club Admin, Club Setup, Programs. So you came configured with 3 programs, and we want to turn off the Visitors program simply by clicking on it and making sure that Do Not Include on Registration Page is checked. And weekly, same thing, make sure that Do Not Include on Registration Page is checked. And then we can see that these are hidden. And let's configure the generic All Students program. Click on it. And you can change the description if you want. Let's make sure that we have this guy checked. Use the club dates instead of the specific program dates. And go ahead and put in contact person for the program. If you have a program coordinator, it won't hurt. And then this we want, this is the section that will include certain input fields for them to fill in if you want, and you can see what they are just by hovering over them. So we want to include the snow sport type one, and then that'll give them these fields. And we don't want to be including date requests because that's not the kind of program that this is. Okay, that's good there. If you want to limit your snow sport types, you can go ahead and do that here. And that's it for our settings. Let's go ahead and test our work. I'm going to log out and create a new account, go through it, check my email, make sure that the email got sent, and yeah, we'll test it. All right, that's it. I am fully registered and paid. So let's take a look and see what that looks like. So I'm logged in as my club administrator. Of course, this isn't something you have to do. I'm just showing it as just showing you. So I want to see what email he sent. So if I go to reports, email, and email history. So we peppered Joey with some bit of correspondence here. So we gave him payment confirmation, and we gave him the welcome letter, right? We had the welcome email, which we didn't put anything in, and we didn't do an attachment. So all we got was like welcome. That's all he got. And we sent him his membership card, and we then accepted him into our program. So we sent him acceptance letter. We sent him a tax receipt for donating the $100 to CADS National and a tax receipt for donating to BCAS. So let's just take a look and see if we can find the guy. Again, this, if you're not doing lessons and that sort of thing, you may not want to, but here he is. There he is. So he's been accepted, and we can, if we want, we can look at his profile. We can see what he's done, his history. We can take a look at his, his payment history. That's his account. So all that stuff's there for you, and he's done. He's registered. So you set your club up, looks good. You were able to register a member. He was automatically accepted. Big guy donated generously to BCAS and national, and it's all great. So well done. Good luck. If you have any questions, call me. Thanks. Bye-bye.